So, in the last class, we have seen that income is not enough criteria for defining the development. Along with the income, some other goals also needed, that is, equal treatment, freedom, security, respect from others, and resent discrimination. All these we have seen. Um, Recapitulating the last lesson, few points. So we have come to the conclusion that development is mixture of goals. Then we have seen that how to compare different countries in their development. That we have seen that development is defined generally based on income. So when we think of the nations, that which country is developed one and which is not developed one. Here we have taken income of the nation. In other words, national income. What is meant by national income? Income of all the residents. Income of all the residents who are living in that country. But the population of all the countries is not same. So this will not give the right and accurate results to know which is developed country, which is underdeveloped one, right? So we conclude that it is not useful what total income. Income in the sense here, total income. Total income is not useful for comparing different countries or states to know which are developed countries or states. Then, what is needed for comparison of the countries and states when total income is not a good criteria? Then we have gone for per capita income. Another important criteria here we are using to define the development of the countries. Per capita income is different with the total income. It is the income of all the individuals when it is divided. That is the total income, that is the national income. Total income in the sense national income, when it is divided by its total population, we will get average income. That is called per capita income. As total income is not suitable criteria for comparison of the countries or the states, we are using another criteria per capita income because there is a demerit in total income, right? To overcome that demerit, we have taken another attribute or criteria, that is per capita income. So per capita income or average income, how this is useful, we'll see here. By taking one example, we will come to the conclusion that per capita income also not enough for comparing the nations. How it is? Let's see the example here, right? And we'll come to this point averages, that is per capita income. Averages, nothing but per capita income. So averages are useful for comparison. They hide some disparities. Some results are not shown by the per capita income. How it is, we'll come to know that. Okay. So here, before going to that, in 2016, World Bank have prepared World Development Report. For preparing World Development Report, World Bank has used averages, that is per capita income. Dear students, per averages are used here by World Bank in order to classify the nations into high income group countries, low income group countries, and middle income group countries. So in 2016, World Bank have prepared a report. That report is based on per capita income, nothing but averages. So what it says, per annum, an average, if a nation have the income of America dollars 12,236 above, such nations are the part of high income group countries. The report, World Bank report says that the per capita income of a nation, that is, if it is $12,236 US dollars above, those countries comes under high income group. And if some countries, if the country's average income, per capita income is below 1,500 US dollars, such countries fall in low income group countries, right? And if the income of per capita income, the per capita income of some countries which are below 12,236 US dollars and above 1,500 US dollars, such countries are middle income group countries. Our India falls in middle income group countries. European countries and some Asian countries like Japan falls into the high income group countries. So this is the classification done by World Bank using per capita, right? So now coming back to the point that per capita income also not suitable criteria. It is not enough. How it is not enough? As total income, which is a criteria we used already for classifying or comparing the nations, there are some demerits in it. Population is different from one nation to another nation, that we have seen. Now in per capita income also we find some demerits. So to understand that, here is a table we will see. Look at this picture. Here you see that a table showing monthly income of citizens of two countries, country A, country B. In country A, the population is 5, 5 people. Similarly, in country B also, the population is 5. So here, if you take the total income of all the individuals in country A, that becomes total income or national income of country A. How much it will come here? It will come 50,000. In country B also, if you take the total income of all the individuals, all the residents of that nation, country B, it also 50,000. That is total income. But here we want to compare country A with country B using per capita income. Nothing but average income, right? So how do we get average income? That is when we divide total income of country A by its people, by its population. So what is the total income of country A, my dear students? 50,000. And what is the population? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 50,000 divided by 5. What will come? 10,000 will come. Then coming to country B, here also we find the total income 50,000, which also divided by its population will give same 10,000. Now, what does it mean? The average income per annum in country A is 10,000, and that is similar to the average income per annum by individual in country B also same. That means when we use averages, that is per capita income, it says that two nations are at the same position because both the nations, country A and country B, have same per capita income. Then what is the demerit in that one? Observe very carefully the given table. What is the income of all the people in country A? It is near about 9,000 to 10,000. In between 9,000 to 10,000, there is income of all the individuals in country A. It means all the people in country A are at an equal position. There is no much differences in the incomes of all the people in country A. And coming to country B, you will find here many of the people in country B income is very low, that is 500 rupees. A few people, that is one person here, his income is 48,000. Here it is not a little difference. There is extreme difference in the incomes of the people. But when we come to average of the both nations is similar. Can we say that country B is equal in the position with the country A taking the per capita income which is 10,000 for both the nations? No. Am I right? Because there is a lot of inequality in country B. In country A, there is economic equality is there. That means the income of country A more or less equally distributed among all the citizens. And in country B, the income of all the individuals have a great extremes. If I ask you in which of the country you would like to be the citizen, either it is country A or country B, I know you will choose to be in country A because there is equality, there is equal distribution, more or less equal distribution in the incomes of the people. There is a equality, right? If I offer you to be the citizen in country B, then you would go on taking the position of a fifth person, right? That is, his income is 48,000. Remaining all the people's income in country B is very, very less. So this is a disparity. It does not tells that per capita income. Per capita income does not reveal the disparity. What is the disparity? How the income is distributed among the people, right? And how much inequality is there in the society. These two things we may not find taking the per capita income. But to some extent, it is useful for comparison. Hence, averages are useful for comparison. The point what I am saying here. Averages are useful for comparison, but also but hides disparities. Some issues which are not revealed by the average averages, that is per capita income, so that it is also not enough. Which one? Per capita income also not enough, right? Three things are there here, right? It does not tell how many people are rich and how many are poor, right? And it does not tell that how the income is distributed and to what extent equality is there in both the nations. So these are the demerits when we use per capita income, right? This we can find going to the table 2, which is in what you call textbook given, right? Then to clarify this, we have another example here. Look at that. What happens if we all are in country B as citizens? What happens when we all are in country A as citizens? Let us see that if we all are the citizens in country A, in nation A, how it will be? See, there are 4 chairs and 5 people. 5 persons are there. So the chairs are more or less distributed among the 5 persons, right? So here it shows that everybody is sitting on the chair, right? Nobody is sitting down. So all the persons have got the facility of sitting here. It means that in country A, which we have seen in the previous one, that is in country A, all the people are at equal status like this. So they enjoy equality here. There won't be any problems. Now coming to country B, what do we see here? There are 5 persons here. Fifth person income is 48,000 Remaining 4% in country B, its population it is, their income is 500. So what happens here? Two chairs are given to four members. These four members represent poverty or poor people as their income is 500 or very low. And here the four chairs are occupied by one individual to whom, when one chair is enough, he is enjoying another three chairs. It means these four chairs indicate the income with this person. Here also the two chairs. That means too much income. Lot of wealth is concentrated in the hands of few rich people whose percentage is 20% in population, and many more people in population are poor. Their ratio is 80%, and in their hands the income is very little, that is not enough to fulfill their needs. So in country B there is a lot of a difference. So we won't like to be the citizens in country B. So this is the thing is not revealed by the per capita income. So per capita income is useful for comparison but hides some disparities. Is it clear to you? Next, we will see another table here taking the per capita. What is the difference we have seen between total income and per capita income? So total income is not enough as population varies from one nation to another nation. Next, we have seen that the per capita income also not enough because it does not tell how the income is distributed. Then what is needed to define the development or to compare the nation's development or the states? So here I am taking uh, some states and trying to compare their development, right? Dear students, it is the states selected here are Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Bihar. So let us compare the development of these three states. And this is the table tells the per capita income of these selected states. 2016 to 17 per capita income is given here. GSD. It is gross state domestic product. National income. What is national income? Total income of all the individuals. National income is denoted with GDP, gross domestic product. Here we are trying to find out the states which are developed one. So the income, total income of the nation is here called state's income. To denote that total income of the state, we use a technical term that is GSDP, gross state domestic product, right? Are you clear? And that based on the per capita income of 2016 and 17, ranks are given for the selected states. Another ranks what are HDI also given. Well, study these HDI ranks after completing this one. First, we'll look into this one. Just now, we have taken that per capita as a criteria for classifying or comparing the nations. Now, here Haryana. In Haryana, an average per annum, every individual is earning 2,15,000. And in Himachal Pradesh, right? In Himachal Pradesh, it is 1,82,000. That is average income, per capita income. In Bihar, it is 66,000. Right? Based on these per capita incomes, the ranks are given. As the income of Haryana is much compared to Himachal Pradesh and Bihar, Haryana has secured the position of 7th place, right? Then Himachal Pradesh is at 12th place, Bihar is 33rd place. See, I have selected here these three states so that you don't get confusion that there should be ranks 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are some other states. To make you clear understand about per capita income is not enough. We have taken these three states. So we need to compare only these given three states. So Haryana stands at 7th place. Himachal Pradesh 12th place. Bihar 33 position, right? And see here, this will be asked in academic standard 5th in map pointing. My dear students, you will be asked that where is Haryana? This is Haryana, right? Haryana, this is. Next, this is Himachal Pradesh, and here it is Bihar is here. Right? So these are the three states now we are comparing, right? So let us see that what will be uh, the results of a per capita income. To understand that per capita also not enough, we need to study table 3 with table 4. What is the difference between table 4 and table 3? In table 3, only one criteria per capita is selected for defining the development or comparing the states which are developed one. Only one criteria, right? In table 4, we see some other criterions also taken. What is IMR? Another criteria. Literacy rate, net attendance ratio, right? So what is IMR? Infant mortality rate. How it is calculated? It is calculated out of 1,000 live children born, number of children who die within 1 year. In a year, for every 1,000 live born children, how many children are dying? It becomes IMR of that state. Clear? Once again, suppose in Haryana in 2016, for every 1,000 live children born, 33 children below 1 year, all those children who are below 1 year, they died. So IMR rate of Haryana is 33. Are you clear? It is for 1,000. It is not for total population or total children, total live born children in that state. It we calculate taking for every 1,000. So when a question is asked for 1 mark, like this. What is IMR? You have to write its definition. Dear students, don't write infant mortality rate. Infant mortality rate is just expanded form of IMR. Question you need to understand. Sometimes you will be asked that expand IMR. Then your answer is right, that infant mortality rate. But when it is defined IMR, define, then you need to write this: out of 1,000 live children born, the number of children who die within the age of 1 year is known as infant mortality rate. Clear? Then next, going to literacy rate. Right here, literacy rate is calculated for every what you call census. So as for every census means it is a survey conducted for every 10 years. So according to 2011 census, the literacy rate is given. So how do we calculate literacy rate? See, literacy rate is calculated taking the people who are 7 years above. 7 years below are not taken in calculating literacy rate. Clear? So here the people who crossed 7 years of age and able to read, write and understand, they are called literate. So the literacy rate of Haryana is 77, Himachal Pradesh is 84, Bihar is 64. Then next is net attendance ratio. This is taken for 9th and 10th standard. What is by net attendance ratio? It is the children attending the school, right? That is taken for 2013 to 14. In Haryana, it is 61. In Himachal Pradesh, it is 67. So when you apply these three criterions, that is IMR, literacy rate, net attendance rate, along with per capita income, then the ranks are changed here, right? This is the ranks given based on only per capita income, right? And coming to that, these other criterions also taken along with per capita income and given ranks here. That means the development not decided based on per capita only. Along with the per capita income, some other criterions like IMR, literacy rate, that is social indicator, and health indicator, educational indicator also added to that one, so that it became one composite indicator. Composite indicator, that what we call HDI, Human Development Index. Human Development Index is a composite indicator. It consists of many indicators, many criterions. What I want to say here, many criterions. Per capita income is there. Then educational indicator, that is a net attendance rate and literacy rate. Then health standard IMR also taken. So that is HDI ranks. When we apply HDI ranks, then that is different. What it is, see, Himachal Pradesh, which is at 7th place based on per capita income, it has come to 3rd place with HDI, right? And Haryana, which is which per capita income is 2,15,000, that is high when compared to these two, and its rank is 7th. it has come to ninth place based on HDI. So, what made Himachal Pradesh to be in third place? Is it per capita income? No. Along with the per capita income, there is a requirement of other things also. What are those? Here we have seen how an individual. This is for individual. How an individual needs, along with the income, equal treatment, freedom, security, respect from others, and opposing discrimination. All these also taken into account to define the development of the people. Similarly, to define the development of a nation, we need to consider many criterions. Okay, the criterions we use for our purpose. So here HDI is taken, that is a composite indicator. HDI is a composite indicator. I'll show you. It is there in textbook. Okay. Uh, so what it is a composite indicator. It consists of health, education, social indicator, that is IMR, and per capita income. So these are collectively called HDI. So HDI is used because when we ask about development, see, why do we compare the nations? Because we want to know which is a developed one, right? Just now we have seen here comparing these three states. Okay, so how, what we want to know here, whether it is Haryana is developed when compared to Himachal Pradesh and Bihar, right? When we question to ourselves that whose development it is, okay, we want to know the development. Then whose development it is it the nation's development, is it the people's development, is it the state's development? It is about the people's development. When we say that this country is developed, it means that the people of that country is developed. When we say that if this Himachal Pradesh state is developed when compared to that remaining Haryana and Bihar, it means that the people in Himachal Pradesh is good, right? Is it income only enough for the people for their development? No, right? So along with the per capita income, we need some more. When we think of the development of the people, they need money, that is a per capita income, right? If they have good per capita income but suffering with a health problems, can we say that those are good in development? No. So what is needed for development, which are very important, that we have taken as a criterions and indicators to classify and compare the nations or maybe the states. So for that, some important aspects we have taken and made a composite indicator